الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
Today, we're doing a really profound, very focused deep dive into the foundational text of Islam, the Quran. We're looking at one specific universal command. It's found in the second and longest chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow, specifically verse 21.
Right. And this isn't just about reading a line of scripture.
No, not at all. It's about understanding the core argument it makes for, well, for human existence itself.
That's right. And we've layered the Quranic text itself with, verified traditions from the Hadith and, really importantly, the scholarly exegesis, the Tafsir.
So what's the mission today?
The mission is to clarify the scope of this command, who it's for, what it demands, and then to analyze the undeniable evidence the verse immediately provides to justify itself.
Evidence drawn from the world around us.
Exactly, from creation itself.
Okay, let's unpack this core message then. The verse kicks off with this really dramatic, sweeping declaration, "O humanity."
Right, and that's the first thing you notice. It doesn't say, "O believers," or "O people of Makkah."
It's for everyone.
It is absolutely for everyone, and it's crucial to get that universality. I mean, yes, this revelation came down while the early Muslims were in Makkah, but the scope is so much broader.
The term used, mankind or humanity, it's meant to cover it all.
It covers everyone. Unbelievers, people who lived in the past, all people in the future. It leaves no one out.
And after this universal call, what's the central instruction?
It's simple, but incredibly deep. Worship your Lord.
Simple words.
Simple words, profound implications. Because that command to worship your Lord inherently means you have to affirm his unity, his oneness.
Which is known as Tawheed.
Exactly, Tawheed. This isn't just about a ritual prayer here and there. It's about recognizing the singular sovereignty of the Creator.
So this is presented as the reason for our creation.
It is. The verse frames it as the very purpose we were created for. To believe in Allah alone and to actively shun all other gods, idols, anything that might rival his authority.
So if the command is to dedicate your whole self to worship, what's the, for lack of a better word, the payoff? Why is this required of every single person?
Well, the verse actually gives a twofold goal. First, it says, so that you may become mindful of him.
A constant awareness.
A constant internalized awareness, yes. And second, and this is so critical, so that you can acquire taqwa.
Now, taqwa is a term you hear a lot. In the West, it's often just translated as fear of God, but that feels incomplete.
It's way too basic. It's much more nuanced than just fear. Taqwa literally means to guard or protect oneself.
Okay.
So in a spiritual sense, it means being God-fearing, yes. But it's about proactively protecting yourself from his punishment, from the fire, through your worship and obedience.
So it's like a spiritual shield that you build yourself.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. The worship is meant to be done with hope, with a desire for forgiveness. It's a means of self-preservation, really.
So it changes worship from just a duty into something aspirational, something that protects you.
You're actively building your defense against consequence through your belief and your actions.
That makes it immediately practical. Okay, and here's where it gets really, really interesting for this deep dive. The verse doesn't just stop at the command.
No, it doesn't.
It immediately provides the justification, the evidence. It's a full argument, not just an order.
And that's the rhetorical genius of it. It anticipates that human question. Why should I worship only you?
And it answers it.
It answers it with evidence of unmatched power and provision. It starts by reminding us that Allah is the one who created you and those before you.
So the most fundamental proof is just existence itself.
Exactly. The fact that you exist, that's the first proof. This favor of bringing us to life after we were nothing. No person, no idol, no other power can claim to do that.
And that very power serves as a warning, too.
A huge warning. If Allah created mankind from nothing, then he is capable of anything and everything. The verse implies we will be questioned.
So we go from creating our very selves to the creation of the world we live in, the verse then pivots to all these physical blessings around us.
Yes, the signs, the constant testimony to his sovereignty. The Tafsir, the exegesis, breaks them down into these three categories that basically structure our reality.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, that Allah made the earth a resting place for us. It's stable, firm.
Which we totally take for granted.
We do. And that the scholars point out that this stability is often secured with mountains, described almost like anchors holding the earth steady.
Without that, life would be impossible. It's a cradle, not just a chaotic rock.
And then you look up. The second sign is the sky, which is made as a canopy above us.
A canopy that implies design, protection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a structure.
Yeah.
It shields us. It holds the atmosphere in place for life. Think about that. All that weight held up without any visible pillars. It's an undeniable sign of an intentional designer.
So he builds the stage, and then he provides the sustenance. That must be the third sign.
It is. The verse gets very specific. It details how Allah causes all kinds of vegetation and fruits to grow by sending down the rain.
And the key detail.
The key is that this growth happens specifically by Allah's permission. It connects every single harvest, every piece of fruit, every drop of rain back to that single source of provision.
So if you put it all together, the physical world we live in, our home, our shelter, our food, is the proof.
It's the daily felt proof. You don't need a theology degree to get the argument. You just have to look at the sky or, eat an apple.
The world itself becomes the argument against worshiping anything else.
Exactly. Why would you worship a statue or some abstract idea that can't control the rain or make the earth stable when you're living in the creation of the one who does it all?
So let's talk about the implication of all this. It's a reminder of blessings, but you said it's also a warning. What are the deeper consequences of acknowledging this sovereignty?
The main implication is accountability. If he created everything, he has absolute control. It is that we will be questioned.
About what?
About our obedience to that very first command, to worship him alone.
So every moment of life is put into this context of an eventual accounting.
It is. And the verse even reinforces this by reminding us about the people before us. They were also created, and they died. History itself is a lesson.
Right, the temporary nature of it all.
The rise and fall of nations, the certainty of death. It all points to the fact that this life is temporary and there's a day of account, a resurrection that follows.
So the response to these proofs, to this warning, has to be more than just, a passive acknowledgement.
It has to be comprehensive. To fulfill the purpose you were created for, worship has to be an active, holistic practice.
So what does that look like in practice?
It means you obey his commands, you stay away from what he has prohibited, and you believe in his words. It is total, active, willing submission.
And it means directing all of that worship, all of that loyalty to the one true God and shunning everything else.
Well, that's the choice it presents.
So the verse really builds this unshakable foundation. The Creator is undeniable because of his creation. Therefore, the command to worship is justified.
And if you fail to do so, the warning of consequence is certain. It's a perfect, self-contained argument.
That's a perfect summary. Surah Al-Baqarah, just in this one verse, lays it all out.
It establishes the entire foundation of faith. Recognize the Creator by observing his power, and then act on that recognition.
So the key takeaway for you, the learner, is that the ultimate instruction here is quite simple. Shun all other gods and direct all worship to the one true God.
And remember that worship is your protection. It's done with hope, with the desire for forgiveness to acquire that taqwa.
It's this incredible duality. At once, it's a reminder of immense mercy life, stability, food, and a very clear warning of what happens if you ignore the evidence.
The evidence that's written into the very environment you depend on to live.
Which brings us to the final thought. What does this all mean for daily life? If acknowledging the Creator is meant to be as intuitive as seeing the sky above you, how often do we actually pause to internalize that? So here's a question for you to think about. If the purpose of existence is solely to worship the Creator through this submission, what is the smallest, most consistent, practical act of obedience you could adopt today to affirm that unity, that tawhid?